Okay. Welcome to a morning Space Cats show. I'm Zaddy Cat, and I'm just here in my Halloween costume, waiting for dreadpiratekk to join the podcast so that I can surprise her with this look. Highly recommend tuning into this episode uh, in video form, which you can do on YouTube for free or Spotify, because you can see the costume, and also I'm going to be doing a full uh, oracle reading and using my collage oracle cards. So that's going to be um, better seen than just heard, I think, but I'm going to try to be as descriptive as possible. Currently wearing a dark, like blackish purple wolf mask and these horns that I made that are black, and they're like really large. They go out about 1.5 feet either side from my head. And I made them using it was a real DIY project, and I'm going to get into why I did this particular costume once Dread Pirate joins us, but I made them using beer cans, toilet paper rolls, a black garbage bag, and electrical tape. And I'm actually very pleased with how they turned out, because I haven't attempted that kind of crafty stuff before. So yeah, they look pretty good. I'm not wearing the rest of my costume, which was I had a big, really bulky World War II leather, like I think it's a bomber jacket that belonged to my partner Mike's grandfather, who fought in World War II. And I had a belt crossed over one side of my chest and this like black muff, velvety muff that I was given crossed over another side. And then I had these two huge branches that are like 7 feet tall each, crossed behind my back, and black pants and Doc Martens to complete the look. So that's what we're going to get into in the podcast.
Wow, you look amazing. Amazing.
Okay, we're already recording because I just wanted to get your. Oh, are we not recording?
It said recording in progress.
Okay, because I wanted to get
Oh
your
my God.
your reaction.
Incredible. Absolutely.
So I already described how I made some of this, and but I haven't gotten into all the details. But welcome, dreadpiratekk, to this morning's Space Chats. Except,
Oh, it feels so good to be in the party zone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and very excited to get into like fall
Mm.
forecast stuff with you and the energies. I will just finish quickly talking about this costume so that I can take it off because it's not that comfortable, and I've already done have real videos in it the other day where I was just sweating my ass off. Anyway, so I did this because I wrote and made an oracle card reading for this queer quarterly magazine called Fruit Slice, and they're really cool. And I'm doing regular oracle readings for them. And so I did a fall one. And part of what it talked about was tapping into your inner monster to discover its superpowers. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do a video where I dress up as my inner monster. And I had no idea what my inner monster was going to be. Um, and it turned out to be this Trolloc creature, which is like this creature from the Wheel of Time fantasy series that's like half human, half animal, different animals, and its whole purpose is like death and destruction and like mayhem, chaos. And so when I dressed up as the Trollic, I was like, okay, so what are my superpowers? And it was like, well, it's your love of destruction and mayhem and chaos. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Um, and yeah, it was like, well, if if you are in a time where your external reality that surrounds you is full of destruction and chaos, if you tap into that part of yourself that loves it, it's like gets you out of like any kind of like freeze panic mode. So it helps you just to like cut through that so that you can just focus on your goals. And then it also allows you to tap into your destructive powers to like set them to what you actually want to destroy. For me, it's usually like belief systems that I find are like already trying to die and I just want to help them die. But yeah, it made me feel really powerful to do it. I recommend anybody else try it and do it. There's an invitation if you go on Instagram and follow the fruit slice to like make your own poster, video, or picture and like tag them and stuff. It was really fun. It was really, oh, the other thing I discovered a superpower was the exuberance, which is like comes from being part animal, which is actually just something that like I daydreamed about a lot as a kid to be like an animal. Like if you're part fox or wolf or eagle or whatever, it's like how fun is that? So there's all this like natural, like bouncy, exuberant energy that's in this character.
I love it. Man, you nailing this. It is perfection.
So that's me. Maybe I'll post a link in the show notes to some posts on Instagram about so you can see the costume too there if you haven't
Amazing.
watched the video. And now I'm gonna take it off and um woo, in a little bit I'll talk about the full oracle card reading as well as pulling some other oracle cards that I made, but I want to turn things over to you and just see how you're doing and what's new.
Oh. Well, um, let's see. I don't even know. Oh my gosh. So I was in a good place with like the reaching of the higher perspective of me being the midnight diner and losing this place and all that kind of stuff. But the last couple weeks have been my human self kind of processing all of the grief and the, you know, all the other things that have needed to actually be felt instead of bypassed. And so it's been a little rough, but it's also felt good because there's been a lot of crying, but like it doesn't feel like despair crying. It feels just like getting it out of my system. And like it's a really nice flush. And that's not to say I'm always doing well mentally too, but that's not so much. But I spent a week after the news kind of just mostly resting and not really forcing myself to do anything. And then that was a really good, I'm still not over it or whatever, but like the week after that, so like last week, I was like, I cannot sit in my house anymore. So I told I told Lee, I was like, do you need some help? I'm coming over. Tell me what you need help with. I need something to do. So he's been really good at like, okay, come over, work in the garden and like, getting my hands in the dirt and all kinds of stuff. And then on top of that, he's been hunting. So he hunts in the morning and the evening. And I'm on call for like when he gets one because his wife has knee surgery and all kinds of everything is going on. So he's only got me. And I was like, well, I will help you, but like, I don't know if I'm going to freak out or not. I've literally never done this and I don't want to pretend like I'm, you know, cool with this because I don't really know how I'm going to act. I just never have been around it.
Never been around like somebody after surgery.
If catching a deer, sorry.
Oh, the deer
yeah,
part. Okay.
Yeah, the deer part. So anyway, he calls me on Monday and was like, I have a deer. And I was high as balls. It's like, well, so and he was like, don't worry about it, just get over here. So and it was actually really good that I was high because it kind of softened the experience a little bit because it turned out to be really, really fascinating. And I was just like, whoa, but at first I was just like, oh, this is like a real thing. Like, and for people who do this kind of stuff, like I live in the Midwest in America where there's a lot of deer hunting. It's not like, but for me, I've literally never done this. And so I was just like, whoa, I'm seeing it right up close and personal. And I won't go into details in case it like grosses anyone out or whatever. But like once I got over the initial like thing, because he's just Lee goes in there and he's just like joop joop joop. He's been doing this since he's a kid. And so it's like really natural and he's really graceful and he's just like making it look super easy. And
Whoa.
it's like so I just ended up being fascinated by it. Also, I get that like Aquarius placements, which I have, it's like we look at life a lot as like a little lab experiment. We're very good at observing and being like, oh, fascinating. It's like I feel like Spock half the time. I'm just like fascinating. So it was a long night to do that, but
Oh,
and because he did you skin it first and then chop it into big pieces and then cool the big pieces and then Saturday we ended up going back and like butchering the meat. He does fucking everything. This guy can like he just start to finish he can do everything himself. I'm just like so incredibly impressed. And so the whole time I was having a really
wow.
great time because we were playing music and like we'd stop and take a smoke break, you know, get a little high. It was just I have fun being with it. Like we have a really good time no matter what we're doing. And he can't even
It's really nice.
yeah, I know. He's just sitting there like, why do you can go home. You don't have to be here or whatever. And I'm like, I'm having a good time. So he's like he's surprised that I'm having a good time, but like enjoys it. So we're all just like hanging out together. So anyway, I've had a very big first this week of having my first, and so I keep saying catch. I don't know why. He's hunting for 3, 2 for him and his family, and then 1 for me. So I'm just on call until we get the second and third one.
That's a
But
huge first.
yeah, it was fun. So anyway, there's that. And there's some other things. I think I'm not super ready, I don't think, to share it on the pod yet, but I know that I will. So I'll tell you more of the other stuff
Cool.
offline. But it's been a mixture of like, it feels like a lot of human 3D stuff. Like I gotta focus on doing my move and fixing up the pirate ship and winterizing it to move in there and stuff. And I just kind of feel like, I haven't been doing my stream, like my Midnight Diner stream. And I'm just fine with that. It doesn't feel like it's a bad thing to not do it. It just kind of feels like you're resting, you're doing your thing and like just focus on your own stuff to kind of keep ground because there's a lot of energy right now that I've been kind of processing and all emotions and like there's just like a lot going on. And so the more fun I can have and the more like chill and not worrying about like, I don't know, like a stream or anything like that. It's just like focus on your human self right now and make sure that part of that is ensuring that you have a good time because it's
That actually totally fits with the Oracle card reading that I did. And I'm going to put the link so you can read it in the show notes too. So this first card, well, no, actually this was the second card in the reading, but I'm showing it first because it ties in with what you said. So there's 2 squirrels on a big tree branch looking up at a raccoon that's like coming down from the branch above them. And it's a very fall color backdrop. It's an illustration from a children's book of like a long time ago. And the text says, "The coming of the cold, change the annual cycle, lazy daisy stitch."
nice.
And so this card was all about how typically squirrels in the fall are busy running around, hustling, trying to get every nut that they can or acorn. And then this like raccoon prophet comes down to spread the word of like chilling the fuck out for fall. So it was like literally gathering as much rest and relaxation as you can is abundance. It's like the motto is rest is abundance. And so it's finding ways to rest that are really fun. And the fact that it's got a bit of 3 of cups energy because we've got 3 cute little figures in it. So there was a lot of like the power of resting with or relaxing with other people, which I feel like you just totally described. Perfect example. Or like I just went to a really nice workshop on this type of printing that uses the sun and this like as the photo developer to this ink, and it was really neat. But that was like, yeah, this workshop. So you're just there with other people, just like chilling out, working on your print, but sometimes chatting with people. That kind of energy, even taking a nap with somebody over Zoom or in person is like very the vibe. And it's like, don't be surprised if you see, you know, raccoons are opportunities. So you're just waiting for things to present themselves and then you gather, but it's like, don't be surprised if you notice like stuff coming your way the more you rest. And it was also like, fall is not the season to do a lot of really intense, heavy emotional work or healing, which I've just been like gradually unhooking from. So that was that one. And then the first card in the reading is the one that inspired me to do the costume, the Trolloc costume. So that one it's a painting of this little monstery creature on four legs in like a very like gloomy background, and it's kind of got big ET eyes. It's adorable, and he's like wearing a blue sweater. He's got these like snaggly teeth, and he's just kind of jauntily walking along, looking right at you. And it says, "Papa's home, the long, gay, breezy, lively underworld." So this is about being back in the underworld, but the underworld is what you make of it. And this is about turning it into a party zone. And your inner monster, like this guy, is your guide. And so the recommendation was to do something to tap into that, to like either dress up as your inner monster or throw a party where everyone comes as your inner monster, see what happens, or draw something or like write something to describe your inner monster, whatever, make a piece of music, however you like to create, and see what hidden superpowers are in that monster part of yourself. Because this is like the time when like all those grotesque parts of ourself are like thriving and vibing. And it's got this little blue patch kind of dragging behind its back legs. So I said, it's like, don't worry, your little blue blankie is always there as you're in the net, keeping you comfy. So yeah, really, really cute. I really, really recommend. I was, it was just, despite everything, like over the past few years, I was like, whoa, a troll. Like I was just caught off guard. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. And the superpowers weren't what I was expecting. So I was like, that's fun. And it was just fun. It wasn't like working on myself or anything. It was just like a fun, silly thing to do. So that's the fall. Oh, and by the way, I just did my winter one in advance to send it in for winter. And it starts with the sentence, "We hope you stocked up on lots of rest and relaxation in the fall," because crawling under the blankets and hibernating is not on the forecast for this winter. It's very interesting. Fall, we're getting we're like unsyncing from time. Something's happening with time, because this fall reading is winter energy, and the winter reading is all about like revitalization. It's not a bad like, it was like it's like this huge surge of like wildness and passion coming up, and like freedom, autonomy in the winter. But it's very spring, and also the full moons in the winter are going to be, instead of like being like supercharged, how they have historically, like they're known to be like, oh my god, the full moon, and like chaos, anything can happen. It's like the full moons are going to be the pockets of calm in the winter periods. Super, super interesting. So sorry, say what you were going to say.
No, that's incredible. No, I was just, when you were talking about time, I was like, there is something funky with time. And it's been for a while now, but I feel like it's ramped up the past like month or so, I want to say, where it just feels like hours will pass and feel like minutes. I've been having trouble sleeping. I'm not actually exhausted, so it's just another weird time thing because like I don't go to bed super late, but not early. I don't know, midnight, whatever the fuck. And I will wake up at like 3, 4, or 5 and not be able to get back to sleep. And I'm not exhausted. Like when I wake up, I pop awake like I've been asleep for all night or whatever. And so when it's still dark out, I'm like, what the fuck time is it? And so, I mean,
Oh,
I'm still a little sleepy. It's not, I'm not like wide awake, but I'm just like, I can't go back to sleep. And so I'll just get up and have I'll just have tea at 4 in the morning. I'll come out here, have a little cig and just have my tea. And it's just been a really interesting time period. And then like I will lie there in the morning sometimes, just like if I don't want to get out of bed, and I will look at the clock swearing that it's 20 minutes later and it's been like 2 hours. And I'm like, where is it going? I don't even know.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
The part where you're able to be rested, that reminds me of in the summer when we were like tapping into lucid dreaming and rest stuff. And they were like, well, it's the new way to like sleep and rest where you don't need as much actual sleep to feel rested and you can be more in that liminal weird space where everything gets weird. Oh,
That's what it feels
these
like.
weirdnesses all around
Okay.
also just came out recently.
Nice.
And
Nice.
you want weird, you've come to the right place. I just wanted to speak to what you're saying and also the stuff about the full moons. Now we got two. I don't know if the two moons are going to help us with this time weirdness and like shifting. It's really funny because I feel like we've completed this whole cycle of getting really in sync with the Earth's natural cycles and like the seasons and the moon. And now it's like everything's getting all wonky
It's
and
all funky.
fluid.
Yeah.
But suddenly, okay, so the two moons thing is so weird because like nobody was predicted it. It's just all of a sudden like they didn't know in advance. Like it's like as somebody was saying, like this is so bizarre. Like
It's so
they,
bizarre.
and so it's like now we have two moons for until 2083. Like it's feels like a total reality shift or timeline jump or whatever you want to call it. Like it's like what the
Yeah.
fuck? And I think it's it's like kooky town.
Absolutely kooky. That is a perfect description. Yeah, I don't even know. It's pretty pretty, and it's actually been helping me kind of calm down from a lot of the anxiety and fears that I've been kind of, I've been working with these energies for so many years or whatever. And so like I'll obviously still feel it because of I'm in the same situation and also I'm moving to a crappy place. Like whatever. So all this stuff, I should be feeling like all of this stuff. And I do, but because everything is so weird and time is so crazy, I just kind of don't feel a lot of the fear. Like I'll just feel like what the fuck right now, but not even in an angry way or anything like I usually do. It's more like a okay, what the fuck? And so it just kind of lightens up a little bit of the this heaviness going on. So I don't know. It feels very nice. I'm not gonna.
That's cool.
It feels pretty good.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Remind me what your moving date is again. It's in January at some point, right?
No, it'll be in December.
Oh, December.
Yeah, I have to be out before the end of the year.
Oh.
And I might have told you, I might have
I,
thought,
I think for some reason I got hung up on like 90 days or something, and I thought that
ah,
was taking us into January, but I think it
gotcha.
was a mistake on my answer.
No, you're totally good. I also was confused at the beginning, so I might have given you the wrong information because they were trying to get me until February, but they ended up not being able to, and so it was December. So I had February in my head. I was like, oh, I'm moving in February. And I was like, actually, you're moving in December. I'm like, oh, my bad. So I might have given you the wrong info. But
Mm.
yeah, I think it'll be mid-December or something. I'm just kind of taking it really like whatever the move date is, like with the mover type things mid-December, but Lee and I are already winterizing the pirate ship a little bit. And so we're taking
Oh,
stuff over there every time, like tools from the barn or, any of that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to make it a really leisurely move as much as I possibly can because fuck moving.
I'm so glad you have that help from Lee. That makes
Yeah.
me really happy.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. Like I'm kind of surprised because I thought he was just going to be he's been going through his own like awakening stuff and it's just been really rough for him. So I was like, "Oh, we're both going to just kind of separate for the fall winter so that he can deal with his shit and I can deal with my shit, whatever." But he ended up coming back around. Like he's, you know, he was kind of despondent for a while and he came back last week and he had some fire under his ass. He was like, "We're gonna go clean that place up." And he has like this list of stuff and I'm like, wow, okay. So, I don't really know what
That's great.
but
No, I mean, it just makes sense that he's there for you.
yeah,
it just really makes sense.
He's been a really like, I don't know, he's just such a divine masculine presence and I'm not used to being around that because I haven't been around a lot of guys in my, you know, ever. I didn't have a dad. You're like, oh, anyway, all this stuff, that's a whole other podcast. But I'm just saying we haven't had a lot of male energy. And so I am like floored and taken aback all of the time with all the stuff that he just does for me. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I want to help you. Like, what do you mean? Why am I helping? Like, I want to. I'm your friend, like all this. I'm like, oh. So it's been a really nice receiving energy that I get to practice, but it's like fun this time instead of, I don't know, pulling teeth or whatever like it used to be.
Excellent. I put the horns back on. The horns are fine. It's just the horns and the mask together. It's like brutal.
I love the horns.
I have. Pardon?
You did such a good job.
Well, I don't want to pressure you. Okay, I won't say what I was going to say.
You can if you want.
No, I was just going to say, originally you had expressed some interest in also dressing up as your inner monster.
Yes.
And I'm very excited just to see what comes out. But when I first had to do it, I was like, oh, like I have to think of it, whatever. Like, don't make it a chore. It ended up being really fun. And I did get crafty with it, but it could have been like literally anything. Like I could have like wrapped a blanket around myself and you know what I mean? Like it didn't have to be a lot of effort or whatever. Yeah. But I am excited to know what your inner monster is.
I want to see what it is. Spend some time chilling with it tonight, see what comes through.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say one of the things, okay, I can't I can't say enough about how home decorating has become like my fucking jam. And I just love it so much. And I made curtains. I made curtains from an old hammock that we had. And I like used every part of the hammock it was like, okay, so first I was trying to, first I made just a very simple set of curtains. We already had a little curtain bar. There's this cubby hole area. It's like a door that goes up like maybe 2.5 feet. And because our apartment is actually an attic, it's all sloped and stuff. So it's like a little storage space, but it's open, but it's right next to the bed. And it always looks like a little like demon hole. So we store stuff in there, but it doesn't look nice. And it had this little curtain rod and I was like, I should just make curtains. So I made the first curtains out of the hammock and it worked perfectly. And it was really easy because the hammock already had the loops. So you just stuck it. Super simple. Then also I've just been like raccooning so many things and finding so many things on the street. So I'd found this gorgeous new white desk that's for my office. But we have a small space, so it's always about places to store things. So I store a lot of stuff on this desk, but I don't like seeing it. So I was like, I'm going to make the curtains go across the underside of the desk. And so I attached this shoelace and then I wound it through, but they were the wrong color. And I was like, But then our place is really bright and gets a lot of sun and it has these like kind of long, wide, I should say, windows. And we've never just the neurodivergent thing. Like we never got it together to buy the hooks and all the stuff for the like I've just found it too stressful and fussy. So we've been using like, we'll put like a painting up against the thing or whatever to like block out the light, but it's always been a bit sloppy and I didn't like the vibe. And I'd recently found this huge branch, one of the ones that I ended up using in my costume. It's like 7 foot long, gorgeous branch. And I was like, what if that was the curtain rod over our living room windows? And so I like, anyway, it looks so good. And I like made the loops out of the hammock string. And then I used the ends of the hammock as like the hooks, and it just looks so, the branches like curves a bit, so it's just like it just looks so cool and rustic. Amazing. And I cannot believe that I was able to do something like that. I was just like, this is, I'm impressed. Was not previously in my wheelhouse at all. I was not like home crafty person. Yeah. And then the other thing is witch clusters. So I have this one witch cluster that's always been next to my office desk, and I've been adding and adding to it. It has all these dried flowers and feathers and stuff. But it's pretty stuffed full. And then walking down the street with Mike in the evening, someone's giving away a bunch of pottery, vases, like ceramics.
Oh, hey.
Beautiful ceramic. So I brought home 4 vases, and then I was like, I'm going to make 4 new witch clusters. So I just went a gathering. It was so fun just around the neighborhood and like took all this stuff. And then yesterday I made 4 witch clusters in the vases, and just like so peaceful, zen, creatively fulfilling.
That sounds amazing.
Completely free. Because like the best thing for a cluster is something that dries well. So it's a lot of like things that are like growing almost as like weeds, or like just, like you can just find them anywhere.
Cool.
Yeah, I like tuckered myself out because I got so excited talking about that. But yeah, so
that sounds like fun.
The house is just looking more and more and more like how I would want a place to look.
Awesome. That feels good for sure.
What is it? Is it 3i Atlas? I want to ask you about it, but I wanted to say something about it. I don't have much to say, and I do think it's really interesting. Very interesting. But I was hearing stuff recently about like we're coming up on the day, it's like this week, later this week, when it's going to be closest to the sun.
9th, yeah.
And people talking about like power or like electricity or something, like talking about like potential like chaos in the world that could come of it. And it was just reminding me a bit of the Rapture stuff that was happening back, that was in September or early October or whatever. And I think for me, what really clicked in my head was that I think there's like this spiritual disillusionment happening for a purpose, which is people are, and I have 100% done this, not judging, but people are being too literal with their interpretations of things that are going to come about. Number one, they're being too literal. And number two, they're putting all of their eggs of like expectations and hope and faith into an external event, as opposed to finding it internally. Again, stuff I've done a million times. And so it's like this kind of has to happen so that you just sort of can like go through that disillusionment and like shed that. That's the purpose of it. It's not to make you lose faith or hope. It's to remind you that your faith and hope and knowing come from inside, not external.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say that any old weird shit can go down at any time, but
yeah.
I'm just no longer like, when I hear about, like, we had a lot of that, like, it would be like, oh, something crazy is happening in the spring or whatever, it's going to go down and stuff. And a lot of times it's like the rapture already happened, and it was that people attain that level of consciousness that we associate with Jesus. And I don't want to speak in like any hierarchical, but people went to like a higher, more expanded plane of awareness and are existing there. So the rapture has happened. It just didn't happen in the literal way. And whatever, and like, I mean, that we all were, I don't know about everybody, but so many of us are aliens. Like, we're if you're waiting for alien contact, go look in the mirror.
Basically.
That should be the title of the episode.
I agree.
I had a really weird, I'm sorry, I'm talking, I feel like
Love it.
I've increased my dose of antidepressants. Also cannot say enough positive things about antidepressants, but
Nice.
I've been working my way up from a quarter of the minimum dose pill to now I'm like at 2/3. So I just went up from a half to 2/3, and it makes me speedy again and like talk really fast and stuff, and I feel self-conscious about it.
Love it. It's so fun though.
But I had a really trippy dream last night where I looked in the mirror. I don't often, no, I actually do look in the mirror a lot in dreams, but I hadn't in a while. And I looked in the mirror in the dream and I saw someone else, and I had a very strong reaction to it. And then I looked again and it shifted from that person. They were both teenagers. They were my niece and my partner's like biological nieces. So my nieces, who are both in their like mid to late teens. So I wasn't my height or anything.
Weird.
Yeah, it was trippy as shit.
So
I'm feeling very connected to adolescent girls lately. I mean, see my Myth of the Mean Girls episode. Oh wait, 3-1 Atlas, 3i Atlas. What have you things to say?
Yeah, I actually talked about it quite a few times, or a few times on my stream, because I was chewing on it. I knew it was something, and I know I'm pretty sure I talked about it on this pod, or did I? Maybe a little bit. Well, anyway, I'll just go through it really quickly. But like one of the things I wanted to say about the like power outages and stuff, Uranus is currently doing some sort of geometry with another planet. I don't know, whatever. And usually when that happens, they associate electrical outages and that kind of stuff with a Uranian type of transit. But that's not to say that it's not also could not also be caused by the 3i Atlas stuff, because 3i Atlas is getting blasted by our sun kind of currently, and has been for a while. And so it's like solar flares and CMEs hitting the thing. So it feels like a communication, a lot of like plasma consciousness and like whatever or other organic materials that 3i Atlas is carrying. And so it's kind of like it's the codes are coming down like right now. Like we're getting hit with all these new codes, and by codes you can think of that energetically as like, you know, downloads and all that stuff, but it's also scientifically new neutrinos. So like neutrinos make up like 99.9 whatever the percent, it's like the most abundant subspace material or whatever. I sort of don't really know what a neutrino is, but I know they carry data, and if we could see them, that would be all we could see, and they're constantly flowing through us and like all this stuff. So we have neutrinos from the planets and asteroids and sun and like whatever in the sky, and we're used to those, which is what I can feel like astrology is sort of not based on, but like when Mercury does this with this planet and these things tend to happen, whatever, those neutrinos are hitting us in that particular way. When a fucking interstellar object comes through, those are completely new neutrinos. And so we are getting all kinds of shit like downloaded into us. And it's not even the only, it's not a comet, I don't think. It's not behaving like a comet, but we're just going to call it a comet because whatever. There's
Yeah,
a,
it's sending out like Fibonacci light signals and stuff, right?
yeah,
Like this the
absolutely.
code, like the
Yeah,
5 pulses, then 8, then 13 or whatever.
it's really wild. And so there's another comet coming through from the Swan constellation or galaxy, or I don't know, Swan something. And then there's another like few comets that are hanging out, and I don't know where they're from. I have a video that I've saved on my to watch later from a guy that's going to talk about it. I'm like, I want to listen to more of that. So, and 3i Atlas, I think, is coming from the direction of Sagittarius, like the galactic core kind of thing. And the Swan comet is coming through in like a from the Aquarius constellation or whatever. And so I feel like those two signs are like the genius of the zodiac kind of thing. Like you're like we're all far out there with like the Aquarius placements, and like Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter and like very, higher spirituality learning kind of thing anyway. So it's really interesting energies coming through with them. And when I first heard about 3i Atlas, I knew it was coming around Mars first, and then the sun, and then Jupiter, as far as like pretty closely it's passing by everything, but like whatever. And I was like, oh, it's passing by Mars. We're rewriting the divine masculine code and like all kinds and I can see that happening like right now. I mean, it's pretty incredible. But we're also going to get pushback on that. Like anytime there's an upgrade to these more dense energies that we've been playing out, like there'll be pushback from the powers that were, because they want to keep in the old energy. So I was like, we'll probably see more war and aggression and like that kind of stuff, but it's like a nothing. It doesn't have any energy anyway. And then it's passing by Jupiter, which is like the planet of expansion and meaning making and higher learning and spirituality, consciousness, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, we're going through mass awakenings, aren't we? And so somebody I know, or somebody I follow, did a sidereal astrology chart on 3i Atlas when it was coming closest to its perihelion, which is the 29th of October. And it was at 0 degrees Scorpio, which is like 0 degrees is a gateway degree anyway. Each sign has
Right.
0, like 30 degrees. And so so it is like the gateway of the gateway to the underworld. It's like Scorpio season, we're in the underworld. And I was like, oh, we going to have some fun.
The long, gay, breezy, lively underworld.
So yeah, I don't know. That was kind of some of the thoughts I was having. I hope I didn't say any of that on the pod, but if I did, sorry.
I don't, because I remember, because I do the show notes, I don't think you got into a lot of detail about 3i Atlas on that pod. By the way, neutrinos, I looked it up, are fundamental subatomic particles with no electrical charge. Very interesting. Extremely small mass, interact very rarely with other matter, allowing them to travel vast distances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without an electrical charge, that is really interesting.
Produced, you might maybe mention the produced through processes like nuclear fusion in the sun, supernova explosions. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
The other
fascinating
thing that I just was thinking about is Atlas Shrugged, not the Ayn Rand book, but just being able to shrug off and gain more distance from the weight of the world's troubles, so that you can better create the world that you want to live with, better imagine and create and be in the world that you want to live in.
Love it.
As opposed to the world that you don't want to live in, that it's dragging you down, man.
Yeah, I could love it.
That was very informative and helpful. Thank you. Yeah, watch this be the one time when I'm like, nothing's gonna happen, and like we get the full, like I used to have dreams about the full shutdown, about being on that timeline where there was like a full shutdown, and get really like, and I also wrote a story where like I partially wrote a story where it happened. So I was like, am I gonna like end up on this timeline somehow?
Yeah.
I'm going to share a few other cards. So these are interesting. These are cards that I made probably at some point in 2021. When I first started making oracle cards, I made a huge amount. And I was just very in the flow. So I really wasn't trying to direct them in any way. I was just like, okay. And some of them just haven't come out yet, even though it's been like 4 years, you know, and are coming out now. Or if they came out, it was like very briefly. But there's 2 that are based off the same painting. And I'm sorry, I don't know what the painting is. I just do things. I just make the thing, and I don't really obsess about the sources. But it's this painting of a very chaotic scene where this guy with like a big pointy hat and a big beard has fallen down on his back. He's holding an oil lamp. He's like fallen down in front of a building, maybe his house. It's very much like from the past this takes place. So he's lying on the ground surrounded by animals. There's a rooster awakening and a goat. And like in the background, it looks like there's somebody hiking up the roof of the house. And there's also like a horse-drawn carriage, but like it's like kind of like leaping over a fence. So it's a very like, whoa, what's going on here image. And the caption for it is "Daddy fell into the pond." And then it's the same image again, but I was drawn to make 2 captions. So this one said "Man tames the wild." So this did definitely poke out, or this energy, this was before I made the cards, but this energy I know was present in like 2020, especially circa May. But we're really in it now. This is
yeah.
And as we know, it's like I'm not telling anybody something they don't know. This is the energy they're in, but it's very toppling of the patriarchy, which is a messy process. And I don't know, this guy also looks very spiritual, so it's like we're religious, like as I'm talking about like religious disillusionment and stuff, you know. That's how certain rigid beliefs that you have start to crumble. The goat is kind of, I guess, a bit of that like addiction energy, devil like card, like circling around addiction to chaos and turmoil.
Yeah.
And then we've got the awakening rooster. We've got like this chariot that's like a lot of like forward momentum happening. Horse-drawn carriage leaping over a fence. I don't know do you have any thoughts on this guy climbing the roof in the back? Does he look like he kind of looks like a shepherd, but he also kind of looks like a cat burglar or something.
I was going to say, is that a bag that he's carrying?
Yeah. There's like I'm getting like a weird mix of like Santa energy, but also burglar, but also like shepherd, which gives like, I guess, Jesus consciousness energy.
Yeah. When you said burglar, it made me think funny burglar.
Oh, the Louvre. Like stuff like that.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's exactly, I didn't think about that, but yeah, it was like something funny about the burglary. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of hijinks. The thing about tapping into your own parts of you that really enjoy this energy so that you can play with it more is so once you get into play mode, when you're in something that could be perceived as a crisis and an emergency, really wild shit can happen.
Yep.
So that's oh yeah, the sky is fucking blood red too. So yeah, it's not this guy has I'm just looking at the oil lantern is in his hand as he's falling over. He's still holding it up in the air.
Oh.
Yeah, it hasn't like smashed yet. And I don't know, he's dressed kind of like a clown, and he's dressed in white, so there's a bit of the fool energy there. Like, I think he's kind of symbolizes the fall of the patriarchy, but he also symbolizes a bit of like a spiritual fool who's still holding up like a lantern to guide the way. It's just kind of like surrendered to the chaos.
Surrender to the chaos, baby.
And it's down on the ground getting into it. So there's that.
Interesting.
Then there's this one, which is another illustration, I think, from an old kind of Eastern European children's book. So I call this character the Green Man. He's a young man. He's standing next to a donkey. He's got his arm on the donkey, and he's kind of gazing into the distance. And in the distance, there's like hills and there's trees, but behind that, there's a White House. So this is very much, and the text is moved away. So this is, again, gaining that distance and perspective and objectivity from the White House. So yeah, and donkeys in the Bible are a symbol for like carrying the word of whatever higher consciousness, right? So your own higher consciousness. So he's really connected. Like, I find it's like really nice. Like, it's like such a nice way that he's touching his donkey friend that just like shows a lot of affection. And the Green Man to me always feels very connected to the earth, and yeah, like an earth guardian type energy.
Green giant.
This is like the polar opposite of the other image. It's so still, it's so calm, it's like so at a remove from everything, just watching and observing. The colors are so calm. There's a lot of greens and blues and like beiges and stuff. But again, we've got masculine, there's a lot of masculine figures in this time. So we're looking at a lot of,
that feels like the actual energies, a lot of like world is falling, and then also a lot of peace.
yeah.
And higher perspective.
Yeah. And then there's this one. Again, it's somebody observing. It's a figure, it's from a painting, but it's the back of the person's head, but their feet are facing us. So
Weird.
it's like their head's on backwards, or they have like a blank head. So they're facing out over a body of water, it looks like. And on the other, there's another White House. This is actually, I didn't even realize this is a White House. So it's again, and it's also, I mean, this could be an androgynous figure, but it kind of looks more traditionally masculine. It's in a red sort of garb with black pants. Might be East Asian. It kind of almost looks like it might be like some East Asian type of clothing. Not sure. And yeah, they've got, it's very still image again, just observing, but like with your head turned around backwards. And it says forgotten language. There's been a lot of stuff coming up around language. Recently, yeah, my winter oracle speaks about learning a new language as well.
Interesting.
Oh, what's this guy? Yeah, having your head turned around completely. Being able to do a complete 180 on a previous perspective. So yeah, this really speaks to that awakening that you're talking about, I think. I mean, again, it's not, I don't think any of this is surprising. It's just like they're finally now coming to fruition, these old cards, where we're going to see a lot of people hopefully just giving up the ghost on expectations from the White House and expectations of government.
Yeah.
Now some feminine energy. Little sister.
Little sister's here.
This is a Beatrix Potter. It's a sweet little mouse with wearing a fur coat, a little bit horrific. I think she has a little pink bow anyway, and she's coming out of her home, or a little cute, what would that be called? A little nook in the ground, surrounded by vegetation. This one has come through before, and I've talked about it before. The little sister. The mouse typically speaks to fearful parts of the self, but it's also like a very fluid creature. Like, it can do that thing with its bones to make it move around. And I think we project a lot of fear onto mice. That's why we have all these things of people screaming when they see a mice, but mice are actually just like living their lives. We're like projecting all this fear energy onto them. She's very comfortable. She's a very prosperous mouse. You getting anything off of this mouse?
I don't know. I was just thinking more like some detail oriented energy. And that's again kind of like just
Yes.
where I am right now, where I'm like, I got to think of all the details. And I'm like, I definitely have mouse energy right now.
You're so right. And little sister stuff, it's like all of those other cards. This is like kind of a supportive, but
Yeah.
very like little sister energy is like an energy of being taken care of by the older siblings, typically. So it's like she's taken care of, but her sense of being taken care of and like having everything in order and like being detail oriented, that's also supporting all the stuff that's going on with the more masculine energy. There's definitely a lot of like abundance with her.
Yeah.
She's also surrounded completely by nature.
Mm.
And we've got this one lion poking its head through grasses. This is the other side of fear. That one's just self-explanatory. Coming through. And then this one with a rhino. Its horn is in like a huge tree. Almost looks like not just a branch, but like a tree itself that it's uprooted. It's like ripped it out of the ground. And its horn is still in it. And it says, I am trusting. So when you do that act of ripping a tree out of the ground, that always is like major life upheaval. And rhinos for me always they have miracle energy, the energy of miracles. So they always bring that with them. So I think it's like it had the strength and the vigor and the determination to rip that tree out of the ground. And it's still in the phase where the tree's stuck on its horn, but you can tell it's going to be able to shake it off, no problem. It's just like a little bit of the horn is in it, and it's just going to go like rah, 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 and it's going to come off. But the I am trusting is just like you're in that liminal space, so you know that you're going to be able to shake off the experience of uprooting and like not carry it around stuck on your horn. You're not going to go around carrying around this huge part of your life that's in upheaval, whether it's individually or collectively, stuck in the experience of like having uprooted it so that you can experience something different. So it's like, don't worry, you're going to shake it off. You're in the process. You're already shaking it off. I mean,
That's what it feels like for me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, anyway, this is wild.
Yeah, it definitely makes me think of what you're going through. And the rhino's definitely in motion, right? It's in the process of like, it just came out of the ground. So it's just going to be like,
Get it off. Yeah.
yeah. So we are in it. We're in the mix, which we already all knew, but
Yeah, we are in it.
I think Daddy fell into the pond is such a funny.
That's pretty funny.
So funny. When I made it, I knew what it meant. I was like, but it's so funny. Daddy fell into the pond.
So good.
Daddy fell into the pond. Quick, help. Daddy. Oh, Daddy. They're coming to rescue you, Daddy. Don't worry, Daddy. You'll be warm and dry in a moment. Oh, he's ever so angry. He's ever so upset.
With stage, you got to be on theater or videos.
I am flipping wiped. I think I'm gonna have to call it
I was gonna say, you want to call it?
and then maybe we can just chat a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, it's really. Oh yeah, and we missed
last
a week, but hopefully I can get this out today so that it's just 1 week that we missed, and we're back with you. I mean, it's okay that we missed a week, but it's nice to be back.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy fall. The underworld is what you make of it. Stock up on rest and relaxation where you can now. For real. Find your superpowers in your inner monster. And trust the process. So long, Space Kitty friends.
Yeah. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.